Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Randy, and this is the second installment of my new series where I go through each year and tell you my favorite album, song, movie, and television show, often with runners-up. And let's get right to it, because we're starting now in 1951. And my favorite from 1951 is going to be Masterpieces by Ellington. It's a nice one with some nice pictures of him. Of course, this is his first album in the LP format. Of course, Duke Ellington was a jazz pianist, composer, and band leader. With this new LP format, though, he could extend his arrangements where he couldn't on the 78s or the 45s. There are actually vocals on two tunes on this from Yves Duke, using the name Yvonne Laneuse, which I don't know why exactly. I didn't really research that, but it's the long form version of Mood Indigo on this is a highlight. And this acoustic sounds release sounds amazing. It sounds like the players are right in the room with you. But yeah, Duke Ellington, Masterpieces by Ellington. This is going to be my pick for 1951 album of the year. For my favorite song of 1951, my second runner-up is by the jump blues artist Wynonie Harris. This is his album Rock Mr. Blues. It's on the Charlie label. It was a compilation, and it's going to be the song Bloodshot Eyes. And you also see that it was Hank Penny was one of the writers. Of course, this is all I have by Hank Penny. Unfortunately, it's not on here. But Hank Penny was originally a country tune, and Wynonie Harris kind of made it this jump blues classic. Wynonie Harris, of course, is often considered an important forefather of rock and roll. The song Bloodshot Eyes, he tells her not to roll her bloodshot eyes at him because he knows she's been out on the town on a bender and he can't believe anything she says. Really fun tune, and like I said, Wynonie Harris, really important to the emergence of rock and roll. All right, my first runner-up is Hank Williams and the song Cold, Cold Heart. This, of course, he was on the MGM label. This is a greatest hits collection, 14 of his greatest hits. But the song Cold, Cold Heart was written and recorded by him, became a country classic. But there are also tons of cover versions, and it became a pop standard as well, with Tony Bennett and Norah Jones having hits with it. You know, I love the lyrical content on it. Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart? I'd also like to show off that 1949, I do have one Hank Williams 78. It's for Mind Your Own Business. Of course, this is the original MGM label. And yeah, Hank Williams was my first runner-up. For my favorite song from 1951, it's going to be by the great Elmore James. And it's the song Dust My Blues. This is on United, which was kind of a budget label. There you can see what it looks like. But yeah, originally recorded by the great Robert Johnson, and then known as I'll Believe I'll Dust My Broom. But the Elmore version, like I said, came out in 1951, added one of the most famous blues guitar riffs and the inspiration for many rock artists. The phrase dust my broom kind of means like get out of town in a hurry, or in this song, it's more like moving on. But yeah, the great Elmore James and Dust My Blues is going to be my #1 song for 1951. Say that 1951 was a stacked year for movies, just like 1950. There's a couple that I wanted to put on, but didn't quite make the cut. This great film noir, His Kind of Woman, with Jane Russell and Robert Mitchum. Great pairing, directed by John Farrow. But yeah, wonderful movie. And My Favorite Spy, Bob Hope and Hedy Lamarr. Yeah, Hedy Lamarr was pretty good in this screwball comedy. But like I said, they didn't quite make it. My third runner-up is going to be from the Ealing Studios, and with Alec Guinness. It's in this 5-film collection right here. And it's the, I don't know if you can see it, the Lavender Hill Mob. Now, in this movie, Alec Guinness is this meek bank clerk who plans this elaborate heist. It's a fun film with Sterling Holloway, also in fine form. It won an Oscar for Best Screenplay. But any of those Ealing Studios with Alec Guinness are worth seeing. This also has Kind Hearts and Coronets, which is a great one. The Man in the White Suit, which also came out in 1951. The Lady Killers, which probably the Coen brothers' worst movie was their remake of The Lady Killers. See the original. And The Captain's Paradise is probably the least of all these 5. But yeah, great films with Alec Guinness. Oh, I guess one thing I forgot to emphasize at the beginning is that I have to have a physical copy of anything that I choose, whether it be a movie or a TV show or a record. So get that out of the way. Right, my second runner-up for my favorite film of 1951 is The African Queen. Directed by John Huston. This was a star vehicle for Humphrey Bogart and Katharine Hepburn. Humphrey Bogart played this hard-drinking guy named Charlie who transports the British missionary Rose, played by Katharine Hepburn, down the river in a steamboat, the African Queen, and all the adventures that arise. That has a great share of humor. You know, she's kind of a teetotaler, and he likes to have a drink. It's a delightful yarn. It was shot in Uganda and the Republic of the Congo. Bogart won a Best Actor Oscar, but according to what I've read, that everybody got sick except for Humphrey Bogart and John Huston, and they credit it to having drank all the scotch they could. Anyway, all right, my second runner-up, African Queen. And now to my first runner-up. It's Alfred Hitchcock's Strangers on a Train. A perceived agreement to murder each other's problem is this deadly misunderstanding, and you got the great Robert Walker as a psychopath that wants to live up to his end of the bargain. Great ending scene on this merry-go-round. And of course, he makes the deal with Farley Granger. It also has Hitchcock's daughter, Patricia Hitchcock, in it. Just a wonderful film by Alfred Hitchcock. This is a 2-disc special edition with a lot of extras, which is really cool. Anyway, that's my first runner-up. And my favorite film of 1951 is the sci-fi classic The Day the Earth Stood Still, directed by the great Robert Wise. So versatile, he could direct about anything. He did the great musicals The Sound of Music, West Side Story. He also could do horror, as he did The Body Snatchers for Val Lewton. He could do film noir. He did The Setup with Robert Ryan, really great film. And this film is one of the best alien sci-fi movies about contact with extraterrestrials. They warn the Earth that it's making danger for other planets, for the Earth to get their act together. Michael Rennie plays Klaatu. I don't think there's a picture of him on here. But, of course, Glenn Calloway from The Basement. His favorite band was named after them, I think. But it's got this great Bernard Herrmann score. And, of course, Gort the Robot. Some scenes are almost like a film noir. So it's kind of like a film noir sci-fi film. Just fantastic. And it's my favorite film of 1951. And now for my favorite television show from 1951. Second runner-up is the Victor Borge Show. This is a nice 3-DVD set. The show only lasted for 1 season. Of course, Victor Borge performed these comic routines on the piano, often after parodying classical pieces. He had various guest stars. Art Carney was often a guest. He was a classically trained pianist, so he could play some serious pieces, but great comedy routines. Maybe ran out of them. That's why it only lasted 1 season. But yeah, Victor Borge Show is my second runner-up. I forgot to mention at the beginning, my prerequisite for that television series is that they are only eligible during their debut year. I will take the run of the series into consideration, but that was the only way to narrow things down. And so my first runner-up started in shows you the early years, 1951 and 1955. But it's the Red Skelton Show, probably my dad's favorite comedian. Later entitled The Red Skelton Hour. It was a variety show hosted by comedian Red Skelton. It ran from 1951 to 1971. He was from Vincennes, Indiana, which I was just in Vincennes, Indiana this year. I didn't make it to the museum there, but Red Skelton, he had such famous characters as Clem Cadiddlehopper, Freddie the Freeloader, Willie Lump Lump, and many more. Also in a lot of movies before the television series, but yeah, Red Skelton, my 1951 first runner-up. And for my favorite television show from 1951, it's the great I Love Lucy. This is the complete first season, which started in 1951. And of course it has Lucille Ball and real-life husband Desi Arnaz with their best friends and neighbors. Vivian Vance and William Frawley played the characters. And if you read about the show, you find out that they hate each other's guts. But it's got lots of funny antics. Lucy on the assembly line at the chocolate factory is one of the all-time classic scenes. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you let me know down in the comments section what some of your favorites are as well. I always like to learn about some things I may have missed, and hope everyone's doing well. See you next in 1952.